So good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the session. We'll just wait maybe 1 minute more because there should be some more people join in. While we wait just 1 minute more, just please do pop into the chat where you're dialing in from. It's always good for us to know. And while you're doing that, I'll just quickly go over a couple of housekeeping items for you. Just to let you know, my name's David. I'm from the Lowy International School here at Tel Aviv University. I'll begin today's session. I'll spend about 5-10 minutes just giving you an overview of Tel Aviv University and the Lowy International School before I hand over to Anat Levy, who is the program director, who will then present to you the MA in Security and Diplomacy, one of our more popular programs that's also open for applications a couple of weeks ago for 2024-2025. Also to let everyone know that we are recording this session, so we can send it out to everyone afterwards. What we normally do is, the session can be anything from 30 minutes, 40 minutes, 45 minutes, depending on the Q&A sessions. So what we normally do is after I present, after Anat presents the program, we'll then allow you can switch on your cameras, you can ask the questions. We tend to switch off the recording just after our presentations and before the Q&A sessions so that you're able to ask the questions openly. So don't worry. Okay, so we have 23 of you here. Let me just have a quick. Okay, you're from Israel, Sri Lanka, Georgia, Rwanda, United States, Paris, Mexico, Azerbaijan, Netherlands, Colorado, Georgia. Wonderful. So welcome, everyone. And India. Cool. Anat, are you here? I can see your Zoom screen, but I can't see you or hear you. Are you here? Anat? If you have maybe you're just connecting. Okay, so that's almost 4 minutes past 5. So actually what I'll do is I'll start and hopefully Anat will be connected by then. So welcome. I'm going to begin by playing you a video before I begin. It's a very, very short video, less than 2 minutes, that I just think sums up and encapsulates the study experience here so much better. If you don't hear anything, just let me know.
Tel Aviv University International, the only place in the world where you can study Taoism. What is Taoism? Well, it's a local philosophy that says the best way to study is through experience. Understand with your head, learn with your feet. The best way to study a multicultural society is to live in one. Be ready with your elevator pitch. You never know who you'll meet on campus. If you want to learn the best marketing strategies, just go to the local market. Reading about the Startup Nation? Write your own chapter. Study literature in the place that inspired the bestseller of all time. You can't resolve a conflict until you witness one. At TAU, there is always room for more questions and 400 labs to find the answers. Come experience the wisdom of Taoism at Tel Aviv University International, where first-class education meets a second-to-none lifestyle.
Okay, great. Okay. So welcome to Tel Aviv University. I think the Taoism video just sums up what Tel Aviv University is all about and our local philosophy here, that you study best through experience. So you learn with your head, you understand with your feet, and sometimes learning happens everywhere, and sometimes when you least expect it. We call that Taoism. So when you come to us, you don't just learn in a classroom, you learn on a campus, in a city, in a country. All of these things will transform you and turn you really into somebody completely different than when you first arrived. So we call that Taoism. We filmed it on campus about 2 years ago, and a lot of those extras were international students that we managed to rope in to come in to be filmed. So I think this gives us a good snapshot of Tel Aviv University. Listen, we're Israel's largest and most comprehensive institution of higher education. We have 30,000 total students, 2,000 of them are international students, and they come from 100 plus countries. We have 125 schools and departments, 400 labs, 9 faculties. Every faculty has their own building, their own library. We truly are a multidisciplinary institution of academic excellence. I mentioned that, 2,000 plus international students, and they come from all over the world. Typically maybe 20, 30% from North America, but the rest come from all over the world, from South America, from LATAM, from Europe, Asia, Australia, as well as the international community here in Tel Aviv. You heard in the film that, we have 400 labs, 130 research institutions, 3,500 projects annually. We are a big multidisciplinary institution of academic excellence. So I'm not going to go into all of them, but obviously, listen, we're very proud of our ranking. As I said, we're the #1 choice for Israeli students, Israel's biggest and most comprehensive institution of higher education. You'll see lots of rankings here, in the world of business, entrepreneurship, and innovation. We're ranked 5th in the world for entrepreneurship, the only non-US institution to make that top 10 list. We're ranked in the top 10s of schools producing VC-backed founders. And again, the only non-US institution to make that top 10 list. Also, 55% of the population on campus is women. 2 years ago, the university set up its very first Equality and Diversity Commission, headed up by Professor Netta Ziv, and her remit, it's clear, is to enhance equality and diversity among everyone on campus. So, as I mentioned, we're a big institution, of academic excellence, and our impact is felt large and wide. 9 faculties, 125 schools and departments. There's a vast range of research and teaching fields that creates unique and fascinating connections between disciplines that are not traditionally connected to each other. And that alone provides infinite possibilities for academic creativity. 130 research institutions, global university with students from 100 plus countries. And every year our students perform over 300,000 hours of community service. And of course, we're in the wonderful Mediterranean city of Tel Aviv. So if you've not been to Tel Aviv before, listen, it's a pulsating, vibrant city. It's been called Israel's cultural and commercial capital. It's been called the Mediterranean capital of cool by the New York Times. It's really a non-stop city with amazing, cuisine, food, cultures. It's a city you can never stop exploring. Just also, before Anat begins on the program, I just want to say, one of the best things in addition to the academic excellence in the program is the student life team. They are our matrochim, which they're there to give you a nice soft landing. So when you come to us, you're not coming to a foreign country. They're there on arrival day. They organize orientation. They live in the dorms with you. They are your go-to people 24/7 for any issues or support that you need. They also live in the dorms. They also have events on campus with all the international students, like yoga night, movie night, pizza night. They'll also take you off on day trips in Tel Aviv and Jerusalem, overnight trips in the north and in the south. So you'll get to see the real Israel. With the Student Life team. That's actually a picture of one of their trips in Yafo, I think about 2 years ago. And also that sense of community extends through into the dorms as well. So yes, we have on-campus housing with security. There's some pictures here. You can either live on your own in a studio apartment, or you can share a bedroom in another dorm complex with other students. Really nice. They all have, laundry facilities, a small gym, study rooms and social rooms, literally just next to campus. So what we tend to do is keep all of the international students together in the dorms, but at the same time, you're surrounded by Israeli students. So you get the best of both worlds. Also, I just want to say that, we have lots and lots of funding options on our website as well. We list scholarships that we have. We have our own scholarship fund. There's also funds for students from specific areas, from specific countries. We also have Israel's very first sports scholarship, which is a fully funded scholarship. There's also external organizations that we know of that give scholarships to students. So we do recommend, we have them listed on our website as well. So I do recommend to have a look. Just before I begin, as I mentioned before, we're Israel's biggest and most comprehensive institution of higher education. We have amazing links to industry. I'm sure Anat will go into more detail of this with you, but this is just a snapshot of some, interesting things to note. That we have, annual Cyber Week and Artificial Intelligence Week that happen on campus every year. These are amazing go-to events where we can have, 8,000 to 10,000 delegates on campus from more than 80 countries. We have things like Remote, which is a business engagement center. We also have TAU Ventures, an academic venture capital fund, entrepreneurship and innovation center, as well as Ignite by Collo. So lots and lots of links to industry. And that's me. So I hope that gives you a feel for the macro of Tel Aviv University, of who we are and who we are here at the Lowy International School. I'll hand over to Anat. I see Anat is there. Hi, Anat.
Hello.
אבי, שחרר בבקשה את המצלמות, אני לא יכול להופיע, גם אני רוצה לראות את היתר. אבי, אני לא מופיע, הווידאו שלי לא מופיע, שחרר בבקשה את המצלמות. אתה שומע אותי?
David,
did you not hear the video?
Sorry, David.
David, the head of the program is not able to join with camera.
Okay.
And I also had some issues joining in, so I'm using my telephone. So
you now have everyone has the ability to start video. What we normally do is, because of security, we tend to switch that off at the very beginning. I had you as a co-host on that, so it should have been okay. Azar, right. I didn't realize you were here, so you now have your video.
But we see you now.
We now see you. We do that. I'm sorry, I should have said we'd usually do that because we tend to switch it off halfway through once we get to the Q&A session, because you have people coughing and you hear lots of things in the background. So we tended to keep that off, but I didn't realize you were here. So my apologies.
Okay.
Now you're on mute.
So maybe now you're on mute.
You can. You should be able to unmute yourself. Everyone can.
I'm saying if you can just turn on the computers, allow them to turn on the computers. I'd like to see them when I talk to them.
Yes, they can now do that. Everyone can switch on their cameras.
All right, guys, can you please turn on your cameras just that we see each other? All right, great. The others also, yeah. All right. I'm glad to see you, all of you. The others, please also turn on your computer so we see each other. As you know, must have heard, this is not a normal year in Tel Aviv, but still the current year's program is has been running on schedule. And things are, hopefully by the time you come here, things will be back to normal. The program has been in existence for about 20 years. and I'm glad to say that it's the largest, and I would also say modestly the most successful of Tau International's programs in terms of numbers and in terms of academic quality. It's a world-class program in terms of its academic quality. I'm sure that you have studied our site, so I do recommend in any case that you look into the record of the professors, both academically and those who come, and those who have also have practical experience in the Israeli military, foreign service, and other things. So we bring here also a lot of practical experience. And unfortunately, Israel does not lack practical experience. Since I'm pretty sure that you have looked into our site, I'd just like to add a few things that are not there, so that you get the overall picture, and then I'll open it to questions. I'll answer questions on more of the academics, and then I'll hand over to Anat, who will answer more of the procedural and administrative and all the other things. So the program normally has about between 40 and 45 students each year. As you know, we begin in October and end in mid-August. The students are, as we have already heard, the student body is very diverse. So from these numbers, I'd say that about half come from North America. Then there is from the other half, the majority perhaps come from all parts of Europe, and then people come from all over the world. Some from Latin America, some from India, some from Japan, from Singapore, Southeast Asia in general. This year we also had the student from Indonesia and also one from Morocco, two from Turkey, the students from Africa, Australia. This more or less is the places from which the students come. As you already heard, it's also this year is also a great social experience in terms of living in Tel Aviv and in terms of group cohesion. I think that there is a very strong feeling of of sociability created within the group throughout the year. What else? Please ask. Please ask whatever you want to ask. As I said, I'll answer on the academic side, and not later after introducing the administrative part. She will answer then on question on the administrative side. But if you have questions on the academics, please raise your hand and then go on asking. Yeah, Tzvi, please.
In terms of the day-to-day studies, what does an average day look like for a student in the program?
Good. So the days of studies are from Monday to Thursday. We begin at 1 o'clock, and the classes run until 7 o'clock. So the morning is free, and many take advantage of this aim to enroll in language studies. So the university offers the classes in Hebrew, in Arabic. There are also other opportunities, and then also people also take the opportunity to take various internships, and we help people solicited places. We have the Strategic Studies Institute just next door. We have the Middle East Research Center also on campus. We have other places, private security companies that we've had long relations with, and we place few students each year in this private security company. Some of them later on, continued as permanent employees there. So this is more or less the schedule of the program. So as I said, from 1 to 7, Monday to Thursday. Lasha?
I'm actually an alumni of the Tel Aviv University International. I studied Yiddish at Tel Aviv University, and then I reopened Yiddish studies in Georgia after 96 years. So I'm currently leading the Jewish Studies program at the Tbilisi State University. But so this war has made me the main public speaker on the Georgian TV. I have more than 3 million views already. I give interviews almost every day because I'm also a former diplomat. And I realize that life is now pulling me to that direction, that probably I have to receive further education in that regards. So very consciously, I am planning to apply for the program. My question would be, how big is the focus on Russia in this program? Because my primary interest is to study how Russia is affecting the Middle East. What is the disinformation like? What's the propaganda? What is their engagement? Maybe it's a too broad question, but I just really want to know before I actually apply.
So let me give you, there are actually 2 levels here. In terms of coursework, so we do not have a course specifically on Russia. But first, in all the general courses, obviously, Russia, as part of the world situation today, comes up very prominently. And moreover, you can choose to write your papers on Russia, as people do all the time. You can write your seminar papers, you can write your thesis if you choose a thesis track on the things connected to Russia. So this year, for example, we have the student writing on the triangle between Russia, Syria, and Iran, and so forth. So you can, each of the courses, depending on the specific subject, you can write on the theme as related to Russia or some aspect of Russia, foreign policy, the security, or whatever. So this is my, and to refer also to the first part of your comment. So first of all, thank you for representing Israel, and if indeed you see yourself drifting career-wise into diplomacy, I can just tell you that very senior diplomats went through the program. I'll mention just one, the former General Secretary of the Cypriot Foreign Office, who had previously been ambassador to Israel, ambassador to Jordan, and ambassador to the UN. When he finished his tenure as General Director of the Cypriot Foreign Office, he came to us to take the course. He stayed here for a year. His intention was then to open something similar in Cyprus. So we had the pleasure of having this very senior person with such huge... Pardon me?
Hagari as well, which probably everyone knows.
Yeah, no, I don't know how many of you view also the Israeli, the very senior diplomats have been in on our program, but I don't know how many of you view the Israeli television. I don't assume so. The spokesman for the IDF, who
Daniela is on CNN a lot.
Who appears every day on television, is also a graduate of our program. Is a brigadier general. So anyway, we have a mix of some very senior people, obviously the minority, and the majority is comprises of people, just at the beginning of some of them also are mid-range. So some of them, mid-career people who take a break, stay during their 30s and come. But the majority are students after their undergraduate studies who want to pursue careers in either security or diplomacy. And as I said, unfortunately, Israel is at the center of both these the areas, and then practical experience here, seeing things firsthand help. And indeed, our graduates now, we find them in various security institutes, think tanks, diplomatic service, and so forth.
Journalism.
Journalism also. I just 2 weeks ago, already a month ago, I hosted here the senior correspondent of the German leading newspaper Die Zeit, who studied with us, I think, what was it, 3 or 4 years ago, and he came here to cover the current conflict, and we met just wanted to hear as many opinions on the situation as possible. So here is for regarding what you asked, Lasha. More questions, more hands.
I want to mention that Kari, our alumni as well, has joined our session. And I think it would be most authentic if we hear from her. So Kari, you have the stage. If you could share a little.
Kari, before that, I just want to end with this. So please, any more questions at the moment for me? Questions to me? No? All right. So perhaps later. So Kari, the floor is yours.
Okay, great. Just for general scope, Anat, what would you like me to touch base on? And I can share a bit more about my experience with the program.
I think that maybe just authentically how you felt studying, what you gained, where did it take you in life, things that will interest students who are, considering our program.
Okay. If everyone can hear me, okay, just if you don't hear me all right, let me know and I will kind of give you, I'll try to get on my phone to give better connection. So my name is Karina Moreno. I'm originally from the United States, from California. I did the program in 2018, and I actually extended it also to do a thesis program, or the thesis extended year. My undergraduate was in international relations and Islamic studies. Ironically, that was the closest thing that my school had to any type of Middle Eastern studies, which you can have a whole conversation about. But I finished my undergrad wanting to kind of expand and give kind of more of a focus on the Middle East and think about the geopolitics and how that, on top of also just the tech and high-tech presence that Israel is and plays a huge role into its geopolitics and the relationships it's built in the region in the past few years. So I really thought that was a great way that I could, expand my knowledge on that. So I applied for the program for the Security and Diplomacy Studies. I felt that and this goes to any program that you do or attend, if it's with Tel Aviv University, if it's another program around the world, what you gain from your graduate experience is whatever you invest in it. So I had the intention of really trying to learn more about the tech geopolitics here. So any classes kind of related to that. There's a course, one of the courses here is on cybersecurity and diplomacy and how that interacts. I was very interested in taking that, while also trying to, as Professor Gat said, you have the opportunity to take, but you can use that opportunity in your papers, whether it's the final, the midterm, to kind of incorporate your own interests and to explore that and get some initial commentary from professors or feedback. So that's what I really enjoyed from, I would say, the program itself. I think the workload if you're looking for a graduate school studies, like the workload is very manageable, and you're already at the stage that you want to expand your studies and expand your knowledge. So I think the workload is quite manageable. I got to meet people from really all over the world, in not just in this program, but there's also other programs going on at the same time, that you have an a fantastic opportunity, not only to meet people from around the world, but like as Professor Garinanat said, like the fact that a few years ago, Hagali, the now spokesman for the IDF, was in that program. You have people from that level of experience and seniority in their own professions joining these courses, to people like myself at that stage. That was after my first studies. So the diversity you have, and not only where people are coming from, but the industries that they're coming from, as well as like their own experience, I think is very, very valuable. And there's a lot of students who are, I would say, like a good amount of them are coming with very interesting experience, whether it's from industry, whether it's from government. Like in my class, we had some people that were part of at the time of their studies, taking a gap year from the Singaporean government or the Indian government, and kind of getting their perspectives on not only how they see the region and how they see like security and diplomacy at a grander level, but having those interactions that, you know, I frankly don't think you would get for those of you who are coming from, at least I can speak from the US, like if you're coming to a graduate program to have so much exposure of the world and experience. And I see a question. What about your working during your studies in Tel Aviv? Okay, so actually the second semester, I had the opportunity to intern at the Cyber Research Center on campus. So this center actually leads the 2 conferences that David mentioned earlier. So there's Cyber Week, which like, there's Cyber Week and AI Week, and it really brings like over 10,000. They're both quite very well known and established conferences on those both industries. And it was a great way for me, even at that level, because I don't come from a tech background, but I understood it from a security and a diplomacy background, that's how I was able to explore more about like, where does tech intersect with geopolitics? So I found I managed my time that I could do both, and they both related to my studies and like my own interests. I think one of the advice that I would give to any student, especially joining this program, is you really need to make the most out of it. So they're not just in your studies, but if you're trying to look for work experience or intern experience, like you need to go find it. And if that's something that you're thinking about for the next year, you can already start researching organizations or companies that are kind of in the world that you kind of want to get into. What's really also incredible about Israel gives you the ability to have exposure to a lot of things that, at least again from the States, there's like a limitation of what interns can do or responsibilities that are given. So I think having the graduate experience and then having perhaps the opportunity or finding the opportunity to work with an Israeli company or an organization, you have more exposure or more ability to actually get more responsibility and experience that you just wouldn't get in another place. That's kind of the schism between like, yeah, does that make sense? Or does that answer the question, hopefully?
So let me add a little bit more on the kind of internships we offer our students. I want to make clear that students who do not have Israeli citizenship are not allowed to work and earn money while they're on a student visa. Of course, it's all over the world. So what we do suggest is for students who are interested in just having the experience to use their morning hours. This Sunday is off here. Sunday is a working day here. And Friday are both open for experiencing different kinds of internships. So we have for example, a company we work with, they're called Max Security, and they hire between 5 and 10 students every year. Not all of them are continuing with them, but it's a wonderful way to learn about the security world, and you become a little researcher for them, but you learn a lot. So that's a wonderful opportunity to kind of taste that field. Another thing that is very popular is the INSS, which is an institute very close to the university, and it's research based on different subjects that has to do with security. Many of our students intern there. We have students who intern in computer companies. I think that Kari now is going to work for a computer company, right?
So actually, where I kind of pivoted a bit from.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Kari. I don't want to
hear me.
Yes.
No worries. Yeah. Now after my studies, I kind of I still say that I do a bit of international relations, but I keep always like a security lens and a diplomacy lens behind me. But now after my studies, I spent like 3 years or so working for a tech consulting firm, like supporting mainly like insurance and banks to give recommendations on startups that they could work with or invest in. And the past year, I've been working actually at an investment firm here just north of Tel Aviv, and they're focused on actually neuroscience, neurotech devices to invest in. So I think what was also helpful, or like kind of reaffirmed that foundation of my research skills, also came from my studies, I would say, from this program. So what the skills that I was able to carry from here really translated into other jobs or other pivots that are still in that realm, but not
Also,
what is.
I-24, if you guys happen to watch, is located here in Tel Aviv, and many of our students work there as an intern. So I know that a few of them landed a full position there. So that's another opportunity for you as far as internships.
The broadcasting service, television in English.
Right.
Yeah.
I-24 is, yeah, it's a channel that actually they have. They speak in different languages. They record in different languages. So they need our students to help out with research and with presentation. David, do you guys have any questions at this point? Because I prepared a little presentation for you just to get a little idea and a taste of pictures of what we do here. If David can help me share the screen.
Yeah, of course. I've got your slide deck that you sent us here to my email. So before we begin, I just want to say just 2 quick things just to touch on what Karina talked about. Hi, Karina. I didn't realize you were joining. Good to see you. The actual cyber conference that happens on campus every summer, we also have a short-term summer course in cyber that incorporates, you actually participate in the cyber conference, Cyber Week on campus. And also talking about internships as well, we also have a summer internship program. So you can come and you can intern at the university in, startup companies and NGOs and different organizations in Israel. And we do that every summer for between 4 to 8 weeks.
Let me just also add, I'm sure that you have already seen this on our website, but that we have this ambassador form. The ambassador, Kari has mentioned this, but just to make it clear, the ambassador form that ambassadors from all over the world in Israel come to present the work and the kind of thing that they do. Also, Israeli ambassadors that currently are in Israel also present the kind of job that they do. And we also have the field trips, which visit the they visit the various borders of Israel. Obviously, this year they'll have to be postponed to later in the year, but otherwise we have this half a dozen field trips that are also an important aspect that allow people to get a first-hand view of what many of what we all know from the news.
So we had the Russian ambassador to Israel joining us last year during the Ukraine war. It was an extremely exciting meeting with him. So if someone wanted to get a little Russian focus, that was a wonderful opportunity to talk and to ask and to get in touch. Networking is a huge part of what we try to do here, especially during this Cyber Week, where we have, thousands of companies from all over the world visiting. So our students try to, get connections, talk, see what's out there. And again, your success, as Kari said, has to do with your ability to push things forward. So hopefully, at the master's level, you will be able to do that. And although the studies, I always say to the students at the beginning of the year, although the studies are manageable, it's very high education. We choose our professors, Professor Gad chooses them, to the T. Really experts in their fields. Of course, Professor Gad himself is a well-known scholar in the field of war and strategy. But I think that I can say that all of our professors are not just scholars. They're also coming from their field of expertise. They know how things are. They're very, very happy to assist and to give you extra time if you need. Very approachable and extremely free as far as asking questions, debating. So you will feel very engaged in the classroom and challenged.
Do you want me to share your slide deck now, Anat? Or...
Yes.
Shvi has a question, so please go ahead.
Do you questions related to administrative stuff, such as funding, would you prefer that I ask them now or wait for after your slide?
Let me say something in general. We've been contributing to our students every year through the Lowy Foundation. We do receive funds, and most of the time they're on excellence. Excellence in your achievements. Some are on need base, but the program, comparing to other places in the world, is extremely affordable, and we expect you to come in with finding a way to fund most of it. If we help, it's not going to be a full ride in any way, shape, or form. We haven't done that. We just help you wherever we can. Also, there's a payment plan that you can join, so you don't have to pay everything at once. You can spread it into payments during the year. You have a whole year to work hard and save and come and use this money. I always say to young people that, you're always worried at the beginning of life, how am I going to make it happen? But if you don't make it happen, then you won't be able to, get those the higher paying jobs, etc. So, get your funds. Some of the countries in Europe will subsidize part of a major part of the education. So check into your governments and see what you can get from them. US students can get the FAFSA loans. We always have students in our program that use the loans and pay them in increments later on when they find a solid job. And again, we will help, but don't expect us to cover the entire thing. We can only help a few students, and we can only help a little bit.
There's also the MFA, the Israeli Ministry of Foreign Affairs. They sometimes have a scholarship fund most years for graduate students from specific countries. Not every country, but there's usually about 12 or 13 countries on that list. And again, it's not a full scholarship, but it's something, you know.
I appreciate those answers. My question actually, I'm an dual Israeli American citizen, which means that I can't, from my understanding, qualify for any American funding. So my question really was, what is the funding for Israeli citizens? And then the second part of the question is, what is the actual cost for an Israeli citizen attending that is not using the like on-campus housing, just the actual cost of the degree?
Let me just correct you. Some of our students who have dual citizenship are eligible for FAFSA. So I would recommend to check into it. Also, I know that Misrad HaKlita, the Interior Office, is helping students who make Aliyah, and they help generously. And we support the whole process. So, you know, we'll work with them in order to allow you to receive the funds. There is another scholarship that hopefully will go on next year. We're not sure, hopefully it will. And that involves students from all over the world who are required to participate in a weekly event. It's on Sundays with Professor Yashavit. And that is, you know, you're going to have to apply by a certain date. Of course, we'll send all our applicants all the information in time. But that also is a very nice stipend that you may be able to receive if you participate in that program. But again, you know, when you come in, you know, look around and see how you can find the program so you feel like ready and really comparing to other places in the world, the program is affordable for master's level. And don't forget that it's a 1-year program. So we do everything we can to save you on the living expenses, push everything into 3 semesters, and allow you after a year to maybe pay the loans, whatever you need to do.
And then just appreciate that, just the actual cost if you're not using like student housing.
So,
Well-
so the fees are $17,000. That's right, Anat? 17?
16,000
$17,000
US dollars.
the living costs, you know, housing and all that. It's however you manage it.
Right. Thank you very much. That.
And of course, you can either, you know, use the beautiful dorms we have here. They're really gorgeous, as David said in the beginning. Or if you wanted to share a room, you know, we've done that, being young like you are, and you can share a room and, you know, try to save. You know, public transportation to the university is pretty good, so you know, you can make it happen.
I don't know if my wife will be okay with me sharing a room with someone else, but I appreciate that.
They have dorms for couples and also for couples with young children as well.
Listen, it's diplomacy and security. We say nothing. It's quiet.
Do you want me to share your slide deck now, Anat?
Yeah,
Yeah,
please
okay.
do.
Just let me know when to move forward.
All right. Yeah, one by one, maybe. Yeah.
Oops. Oh. Did you want me to keep the sound on that, or?
Much rather not.
Okay,
yeah.
let me see. Hang on
Well,
1 second.
Is doing whatever they want.
I didn't know you could do sound on this. 1 second, let me see.
What I actually, the first slide you just saw while David is doing it is the Jordanian ambassador's visit here at the Ambassador Forum.
Okay.
It was lovely to have him, and our students really appreciate the fact they can hear firsthand from a diplomat. They usually share unique stories, and you get to really get in touch with them. So it's really wonderful.
Okay.
The second one here is showing this year's schedule, and that relates to questions that were asked before. I wanted to say that some of the days, as you see here, on Wednesday, we have only one seminar, which is on Wednesday. So those students who will not take the seminar, in this case, it's international negotiation skills, they will not have to come to campus. So in the first semester, they might only be required to be here on Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday. Okay. And in general, I wanted to also mention that we have 9 mandatory classes and 3 seminars that you choose out of. Usually we have a selection of about 8 of them. As you can tell here, one of them is negotiation skills, a seminar that is wonderful and will really serve you in the future in all areas, not just in your professional life. We have the cybersecurity. We have a seminar about the United States and its relations with the Middle East. And every year we have a whole bunch of variation.
Here during the fall semester, you see also the intelligence seminar given by the Brigadier General Brun, as you see, who used to be head of the second most important person in the Israeli intelligence, basically. So he's a very gifted teacher also, so you get it, firsthand.
And I also wanted to mention that because we have all these seminars and you are required to take only 3, you cannot take more than them. We try to keep the class size up to 20 students. So you really get to experience a wonderful time, and the class will be it's more like a workshop where you get to do a whole bunch of things and experience during those classes. Let's go to the spring semester and the summer. I think they're on the same.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, that's the spring. So the spring is...
Oh, this one?
Yeah, this one is
Okay.
the spring. As you can see, we have pretty cool. And again, seminars are required. You're only allowed to take 1 seminar during the fall semester. In the spring, you can take 2, but we also offer 1 in the summer. So let's go to the summer. One more slide, please. And in the summer, you can see that we have only 2 classes offered. There's a reason for that. So one of them is a seminar about China. And it's a wonderful seminar, a very important one. And the other one is economy, global economy, international economy, where you really get to learn a lot about how things work in today's world, and with the cooperation between countries and the diplomacy around that. What's really the kind of cherry on the cake that we offer in the summer is a week of simulation. We have a professor coming from Denmark every year, and he's giving a simulation for an entire week. It's pretty intense, from the morning till the evening, the afternoons. And at the end of the simulation, usually it's a simulation about an issue in the Middle East where you get a problem to resolve, and each one of you will be assigned a role as a diplomat, as a high diplomat in the various countries. And the goal is, at the end of this simulation, to try and find a solution, an agreement that all countries, a treaty that all countries sign. And students get into it. It's just a wonderful experience to see how they put together everything they learned the entire year and bring it to action. Let's go to the next one. So these are pictures of our visit in an IDF Air Force base. Last year, believe it or not, we managed to get our students to visit with the Iron Dome base. We don't have pictures of that for security reasons, but that was quite an experience in the South. So every year, depending on the opportunities we get from the Army, we try to have you experience things firsthand. Here we spoke with Israeli firefighters, pilots, and learned from them a whole bunch of things that were fascinating to the students. Let's go on. Well, one of the field trips we offer our students, they're all mandatory, by the way, is to Jerusalem, the old city. What we really explore there is the theme of the Jewish and Palestinian population, and you get to see firsthand how the proximity and how close everything is. Let's go to the next one. Okay, that's another beautiful picture of the old city. It's the Jaffa entry to the old city, the gate.
Of Jerusalem.
This one is actually in the very close to the West Bank. And again, you will experience that with our, usually we have a lieutenant who is joining us, not a lieutenant, she's brigadier.
A colonel.
Colonel, I'm sorry, a colonel in the Israeli army.
There is a difference in that.
I know.
Yeah. All right.
All right, let's go on. Well, that's the Merkava tank.
Israeli tank. This is on the Golan Heights.
Yes. And then, okay, this is a, we go to the northern part of Israel by the Lebanon border, and there are some wreckage that is there for many, many years. So our students get to go and explore it firsthand. Let's go on. This is a lunch break in a kibbutz. As you can see, it's so beautiful and peaceful. So in between all the learning, we have a little fun. And this is a picture of the end of the simulation, where all our students are presenting their parts and negotiating the treaty. It's so intense that the only way we can calm everything down is by feeding them. So I make sure there's a lot of food there. Okay, let's go on. And that's actually how it's going to look at the end of simulation, where everyone is sitting and hopefully bringing peace to the world, guys. I think that's it. Oh, that's a picture of graduation ceremony. Yeah. Any questions?
Sure. More questions, guys, either academically or administratively. Again, you have a lot of information on our website, but please feel free to ask, write to us if you need more information, and we'll do our best to help.
I just want to mention a few things that are repeating every year. So as far as submitting your transcript, if any of you is not quite done yet, but will be done before the beginning of the academic year, you're more than welcome to submit an official partial transcript. We will send it for evaluation, and depending on your, we expect you to keep the same or better GPA. But we can accept you on the condition that you complete your studies. That's a question that a lot of times we hear from our students. Another question is regarding English. If you have finished a degree in English, your bachelor's degree in English from a university, you're not required to take the TOEFL, but we need to see it in writing. So just make sure that everything is documented. We get a letter from your university that is saying that you finished the degree in English. One more question we have is about the recommendation letters. So we have to have an academic one. The reason is that, we want to make sure that if there's any issues, we learn. As I said before, academically, the program is challenging. We want to make sure that you're successful. Our rate of graduation is really 99%. So we want to keep it that way. We want, once we accept you to the program, we want you to be successful. We'll do everything we can to make you successful, but we want to make sure that you fit.
There is a question here: when are decisions usually released? So all in all, we release decisions on cases that are clear-cut early. That is, when you submit, and we look through. We have a special office here assessing the grades and all that. So once you submit, and if the case is clear cut, you can get the decision within very shortly. The other cases might wait until not until April or May.
The end of March is where once you are accepted to the program, you can lock your room at the dorms. So if you apply by then and you're accepted, you have the opportunity to get a room at the dorm. Sometimes there's not enough. So you want to make sure that, the earlier the better, for sure. Another issue I wanted to raise, and I forgot right now. So Azar, please continue if you have anything else.
No, that's fine. If you have more questions, public administration, I don't know. So this is not the program for public administration. So I'm not sure that we have. Maybe we do, but in case that should be, you should inquire with Tau International, with the general office. Admission. So the minimum for applying is 80. So it's I think it's 3.2 on the American scale. This is the minimum for applying. Most of our students obviously score more higher. More questions? Yeah. More questions?
I just wanted to say that every year we accept a few students who are showing us a good reason for not quite reaching the minimum GPA. But again, if you are one of them, you have to apply very early, because we have only a few spots for students that are not quite there.
Danielle?
Hi, yes. Thank you so much for the presentation. I wanted to know more about opportunities for students on campus. Like, are there leadership development programs? Can master students join clubs on campus where like the undergraduate students might be? Like, how does it work?
David, do you want to take that?
Yeah. We have the student life team. You also have access to the student union. There's the buddy system. There are lots of different clubs on campus, like the Collar Entrepreneurship Club, which is run by students for students. There are sports teams. There's also JLIC on campus, which is Jewish Learning Initiative on campus, that came to us a year and a half ago. They do lots of activities for students, not just Jewish students, but students from other religions as well, who want to, while they're here, participate in Jewish life, and they do Shabbat dinners and volunteer work. You'll also get to meet all the other international students on campus. We have over 2,000 across 60 programs. You'll get to meet all of them during orientation day. You'll have orientations with us, with our student life team, in addition to your academic orientation with the program team. So you'll get to meet all the other international students as well. And if you're going to live in the dorms, you'll get to meet them there as well, because you'll be living with other international students surrounded by Israeli students as well.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
So I don't know, I don't know about the Tata. Somebody is asking about the Tata scholarship. This applies to the students in India.
This year, sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, Anat. As far as I knew, the Tata scholarship it's finished.
It's finished. And in any case, we used to have them. We used to have 1 year we had the 4 Tata, fellows in our program. I think I've seen them in recent years. So David, probably it's probably off. I don't know. Maybe they'll resume it. But at the moment, this year, last year, we haven't seen the Tata students. I don't know what happened to this.
Yeah, I know the scholarship for Tata it disappeared. It wasn't coming back. So whether that's the case, I know that's the current case. Whether that will change for next year, I don't know, but I doubt it.
So people are asking here, is asking, have classes been online or in person since 10/7? We currently, during the first term, we are having the classes hybrid. That is, half of the classes is in the classroom, half of them are away. And our intention is to have everybody back in class during the second term, and obviously also next year.
We have about half of the students already in Israel, so that's very exciting for us. And hopefully all of them are coming as soon as the flights resume. They will all be here, but they love it.
A lot of our other international programs, we got permission to start all of the other international programs when they were supposed to start. So a lot of the international students were able to make it. So they're here on campus and in Israel.
Regarding Tata, I wanted to go back to that just to say that we have an Asian, the Asian coordinator, right, David? We have a coordinator that is specifically dealing with Asia, including India, Costa, and he might be of help to you guys. So I would check with him. Of course, if you want to write to me, I will give you his email, and hopefully that can open some doors for Indian students.
I put my email address. You can also write to me. I'm happy to pass it to Costa as well, and that whatever.
Any other questions? So just in general, I wanted to know that, we are very warm and welcoming in our office. We love our students to come in. We love, helping, and we really have a very hard time where our students leave every summer. So I want you to feel that you will have a lot of support from us as much as we can. And again, throughout the process, when you apply, if you need help, I've already spoken to parents of students throughout the years. So I want you to feel very comfortable to ask any question. I much rather have you ask the question and give you the answer so you make a solid decision. But I can promise you one thing, it's going to be a year that you will never forget. And that is going to change you, whether you want it or not. I'm a graduate of this program, and I have to tell you that I always say that I never look at the news with the same eyes as I did before I took this program, because it just opened my mind to things you don't think about, and you learn it from the best of professors. So I'm really wishing you luck and hoping that you guys join us.
All right, so please don't hesitate. If you have more questions, write to us. And until then, we shall be happy to get applications from you. All right.
Wonderful.
Good.
Thank you,
So,
Dave, for your
thank you.
help.
No, thank you, Anat. Thank you, Azar. Thank you, everyone, for coming. It was a delight, and we hope to see you here in the fall next year.
Absolutely.
Take
Bye.
care, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.